Every camplet owner knows this moment. You open the trailer, take out the poles, and suddenly they all look exactly the same. Which one goes where? Today I will explain what each pole is for, where it belongs, and how I organize them during setup. After this video, you will never guess again. Before I open the camplet, the first poles I always grab are the roof support legs. These are the ones that basically hold the roof in position. Without them, nothing really stands properly. I slide them into the rail and always make sure the adjustment mechanism faces outwards. When you insert them, you need to make sure the little locking button actually pops up. If it doesn't click, it's not fully secured. And later you will wonder why something feels unstable. That's it. The support legs are now installed. Next, I take the middle pole that connects the left and the right side of the tent roof. This is important because it pulls everything together. I open the zippers, remove the small pockets, put one side into the left rail, compress it slightly, and then guide the other side into the right rail. You have to squeeze it a bit so it fits in properly. And here is something really important. Make sure it's really tight inside. If you see even a small gap, push it in properly. It needs to sit snug. Otherwise, the tension won't be right. Once that's in, the roof suddenly feels solid. Now I move inside the camplet. These are the main poles. I open the straps and pull out the poles that are already integrated. I usually extend them halfway first, not fully. Same on the other side. Then I go outside and extend the legs almost to full height. After that, I go back inside and extend the poles further, up to the red marking. That red dot is actually very helpful. It tells you exactly where you should stop. When you reach that point and close the lock properly, the shape of the tent suddenly becomes clear. On both sides of the sleeping area, there are two poles working together. I grab the black strap, pull it, extend until the button pops up, and then slide the second pole up into the roof until it clicks. Repeat on the other side, and the sleeping area is standing properly. Now let's adjust the front poles. They go into the second hole on the strap. It's a small detail, but it makes a big difference later when you tension the fabric. At this point, I usually unpack the big storage bag that sits stored during the transport on the bed. Inside are the rest of the poles. And this is where most people get really confused. What I do is very simple. I take all of them out and lay them on the bed so I can see everything at once. Here is another middle pole that connects the left and the right side around the sleeping area for more stability. I attach it on both sides and push it upwards. Sometimes you need to pull one side slightly to make room for the plastic connector to click into place. Now comes the long pole that goes straight across the roof. First, I check that the red dot on the roof is centered. If it's slightly off, I just move the tent a bit left or right until it's perfectly centered. Then I compress the pole, attach the plastic part, make sure the connector side faces down because otherwise you won't be able to close it. And then I push it into place and close the lock. And that's it. Now we move outside. I open the zippers, insert the poles into the prepared pockets and close the zippers again so they stay in place. I actually like these poles because they just click nicely into position. Then I attach them to the lower legs outside and repeat on the other side. And here we are almost done. There are 3 final poles that go on the sides. You open the selection, make sure the correct side faces down, attach one, then the other, pull slightly and close the lock fully. Very important is, when locking or adjusting, always push the lock completely to the end. If you only move it halfway, the pole won't extend properly and you will think something is wrong. Repeat on all 3 sides and now the structure is complete. But by the way, there is also one pole we normally don't use. This is the veranda pole. It has a spring inside so you don't lose an end of the pole. The pole is inserted on side into the prepared pockets. When you place it, just extend it and tighten it on the other side. Now you can unzip the side of the tent and it keeps the side open and clean. As I already mentioned, we personally don't use it very often, but you could actually use it to hang storage organizers or light gear from it. So maybe it's just more useful than we think. And that's it, the camplet is standing. And we used all the poles. Now when you look at it from the outside, it doesn't look complicated anymore. And from the inside, everything feels tight and stable. Once you understand the logic behind the poles, setup becomes fast and almost automatic. If this video helped you, leave a like, and if you still have questions about your camplet setup, write them in the comments. Happy camping! Bye!